News at this hour. We are keeping on top of events. Thousands of protesters from the Occupy Wall Street protests who made their way to Times Square are reportedly being penned in behind police barricades. Our correspondent Marina Portnaya was also there. Now, Marina, you have just been in Times Square. Can you tell us what sparked all of the tension?
You know, I think that what sparked the tension was probably the fact that the NYPD, the New York City Police Department, was overwhelmed with the unprecedented amount of people that turned out in support of this Occupy movement. I don't think even journalists were prepared for a crowd this large. As you mentioned before speaking with Lucy, it's very similar to the size of a crowd that turns out for New Year's Eve. The sidewalks were packed. Everybody standing shoulder to shoulder. A lot of excitement, but also frustration. Excitement that people were looking at one another to see that support is spreading wider for the Occupy Wall Street movement. But of course, that support centers around frustration. Frustration with the way elected officials are leading this country, and the fact that the majority of these people believe that they do not reap the benefits or the rewards of what decisions are being made in Washington. But Times Square, going back to what Lucy was just illustrating and talking about, I think the one thing I could add is the fact that there were also helicopters flying in the air overhead above the crowd. This was a crowd that, while I was there, was protesting peacefully. They were all coming together, echoing the sentiments that we've heard all week long. But as my camera and I managed to find our way out from one of the side streets and to get out of a barricaded area, there were police officers telling some protesters, if you leave now, you won't get hurt. One Italian journalist had his press pass confiscated by the police officers because he, for failing to remain on the sidewalk. We did see some paddy wagons come in. We did see some riot police. Before the environment got as tense as it has, I did get an opportunity to speak with many people in the crowd. I want you guys to take a listen to what some of these people had to say and why they were in Times Square. Let's play that.
I think this sends a very powerful message. I think it sends a message that this movement is going to continue, that people are just going to keep joining, and it's going to keep building until we can come to some constructive, working solutions.
It's time for people to get what we need, we are the government. Without our money, without our hard-earned money, there is no country, there is no government. We just work and we give it back.
You know, it's not quite clear why the amount of police officers and counterterrorism units have turned out in Times Square and are trying to break apart this demonstration, because while I was there, there were not any confrontations, it was not much chaos. Nothing seemed to have been very provoking from the side of these protesters taking part in the Occupy movement. As Lucy said, and we should underscore, there are families there, there are children there, there are young citizens there, and older ones. This is a crowd of different, that has a range of people there that are demonstrating peacefully. And while we're trying to understand why so many police officials have turned out, we hear sirens here in the studio from about half a mile away. It's not understood quite yet, but what is clear is that these activists remain, while I was there, to stand their ground, and hopefully this will all end in a non-violent way. But of course, the amount of police presence that is turning out in Times Square is clearly creating a very tense environment.
All right, thank you very much. Our correspondent Marina Portnaya, who's been there in Times Square, keeping us updated on all of the events. Thank you very much.